How is your if we are single by 30, we're getting married friend doing? With us it was if we are still single at 65 let's just move in together at least we like each other. We met first year at university and had been close friends ever since. She died of breast cancer at 63. Miss her every day. I lost mine as well. We met during high school. I went to her funeral this year. She was only 27. Sorry for your loss friend. Condolences, the young ones are hardest. I'm sorry for your loss. She told me that 5 years ago. I said, why not just try dating now? We did. We're married now, why wait? This man hacked the system. Marriage pact partners dislike this one trick. She's been living a wild life. We made the pact at 22. She got married by 24. Divorced by 25. New relationship and got pregnant at 26. Married at 28 and divorced at 30. In that time she dropped out of college. Went back to college. Completed her associates. Got nailed for a few D charges and is currently fighting for custody of her kid with the dad. So when's the wedding? Right after the next divorce. FTFY. Reminds me of a girl I used to know. Going back to our high school days. She was attractive, smart, and studious. She dressed preppy. She was ambitious and wanted to graduate college with a degree in accounting. She then goes to college, starts drinking, gets into partying, and discovers coke. Fast forward to today. We're both in our 30s. I haven't talked to her in forever, but I still have her as a friend on Facebook. She dropped out of college, had multiple failed marriages, had to go to inpatient for a while due to being suicidal, refers to herself as a Martian, and ended up having a kid with a local no-name rap artist. I blame accounting. I'm marrying him in November. Well, marrying him to another woman. I'm their officiant. So when he said I want you to marry me it didn't mean what it sounded like. They've been priest-zoned. It's a more extreme form of friend-zoning. Depends on the type of priest. Hopefully not Mayan. Vicar of Dibley moment. An acquaintance once mentioned that they were marrying their psychologist in a few months. When I did a double take, she assured me that no, likely she would merely be the celebrant. Still seems like a bit of a professional ethics issue edge case. Yay, This actually did happen for a friend of mine and his wife. But it was more of a conversation along the lines of, hey, remember that pact we made when we were 18 about getting married at 30 if we were both single? Well, we are now 30 and single. Did you want to give dating a shot? 5 years later and they are now happily married. I have no idea why they didn't give dating a shot years before, but that's none of my business. Sometimes there's no good reason why people didn't get together sooner. Maybe one or both were always too nervous to bring it up. But they found each other pretty early in life, so that's good. Getting together sooner might end up being even worse. One or both aren't matured, experienced, know themselves, etc. If my ex met me at 18 instead of 23, we'd have had a terrible time probably. I was a noticeably different person and was looking for something different in a person. I tell my wife this all the time. Had we met before I was 28 I don't think we would have ever dated, and if we had it would have failed miserably. Is the friend of yours in this thread? Top comment replicates your story. This question gets posted often and the top reply is always that. It's all cosplay. His wife has banned him from speaking to me. Ouch. 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 YTF did your random A got a prize? This is actually my time to shine. I met Lisa when I was in high school through a mutual friend. Lisa lived about 4 hours but we kept in touch by writing letters. This was in the 1980s. We met up for a spring break trip at the beach and got along well since we hadn't seen each other in several years. We both went to different colleges and dated on and off some during our college years. After college we dated, then she went to Germany for 3 years. We'd see each other casually when she'd come home but nothing serious. When she came back home from Germany we started seeing each other again. We made a pact that if we were not married by 30 we'd get married. We drifted apart a bit at 29 years old and we were both dating other people. She ended up marrying the person she was dating and I ended up marrying the person I was dating. We both went to each other's weddings with our respective SOs. We'd meet as couples and go to dinner sometimes and once vacation together for a long weekend. Our kids went to the same school for a while, too. Then we lost touch for about 5 years, until one day I ran into Lisa at a local Starbucks. I heard someone call my name and it was Lisa. We hugged and caught up for a while. I then asked her how her husband was doing and she said they split up about a year ago. She asked about my wife and I told her we split about 10 months ago. We looked at each other and I asked her if she'd meet me for coffee the next day and she immediately said yes. We dated for several years and got married in December 2021. That's a lot to happen in Lisa's 4-hour lifespan. R.I.P. Lisa. Her nickname is Mayfly. Aw. I've made that pact with so many people that I hope no one comes to make claims when I turn 30. So about our pact. I knew this day was coming. Wait, but we had a pact? You traitor. Have a few swords ready. Winner takes the prize. She's married to my good friend. But things are rocky. I just got divorced, so maybe we'll revisit this in our 40s? Just kidding. Edit. Thanks for the love. I actually just saw my good friend last week. That's when he shared they had discussed the dword and that he cheated on her once. I said if he wanted to keep her, don't ever tell her about that and don't do it again. Also, he may want to cut down on drinking. She's also a good friend of mine, so I know that's one of her gripes. I really don't want them to split because I'm so proud of them. They are former addicts that successfully kicked addiction and they have 2 kids. Unless. No, well maybe. Never mind. But. Narrator, he was not just kidding. It was at this moment he realized he could F. We both got married before 30 to other people. She married a cool dude and had 4 kids. They had a beautiful family and so do I. I was genuinely happy for her and glad we didn't end up with each other. She died of cancer a few years ago when her youngest kid was still in elementary school. My heart breaks for her and her family. I feel closer to them than they realize because I knew her since middle school. I think of them often and hope they are finding peace and happiness in this crazy life. I lost contact with mine. Hadn't talked to her in over 20 years, but same deal. She married a pretty cool dude, had 3 kids and just an awesome family. Last I heard she lost one of her children at around 13. I feel absolutely awful for her and her family. I also feel like a puss because I never reached out to her. You know that saying about the best time to plant a tree? Well, it doesn't have to be only about trees. Why did that make me cry? Please reach out to them. My husband died 2 years ago and our kids, 11 and 8 now, would love the opportunity to hear about their dad when he was younger. Pictures, stories, videos, all of it. It would of course make them cry. But it would be a good kind of grief cry. And they would return to those stories and pictures again and again. My mom was murdered by her. They'd been together almost all of my childhood when her and my dad split, 6 years ago. And I'd give anything for God's stories about her. All I get are stories about how weak she was, or higher upsetting it is she never left him. Or I get Thai stories from our dad about how she was nice but never cleaned, or she could have done better but had low self-esteem, etc. Pisses me off because I know she was weak and had low self-esteem, and honestly, I don't have many good memories about her with her. But I know that's not the only person she was. She had 3,032 years of her life before she met him. I was around 6, and I saw how she could be sometimes. My mom loved to laugh and loved to dance and loved to live. But no one ever tells me those stories. I don't even talk to anyone who used to know her because no one was there before or after she died. My dad was only there because at first they thought they never divorced. So he had power to make decisions. And then when he realized he didn't, he took my sisters. I was 18 and they were 16 and almost 14. And I had to handle it. I have no pictures of her. She disliked pictures for one. And I gave up fighting for anything and just let my little sisters have everything. The only thing I do have is her Tahoe, which she loved and was so proud of. And then her ashes. But I'd rather have happy memories. This one made me sad. He's my soon-to-be ex-husband. Lol. Oh yikes. Hopefully it's a pleasant divorce. We're actually navigating it quite well now. Who would have thought divorce would be going so well for 2 people who should have never married in the first place? Lol. Wanna make a pact? Sure. Wanna get married for 4 years. Pop out a couple kids. Then get divorced, leading me to the person I should have married? I just talked to them the other day. We're both over 30 and still both unmarried. And pact got renewed to 40. Never buy the extended warranty. When are you going to propose? I kissed her this morning when I was leaving for work. We get married in 3 days. No joke. Made the pact. Reconnected in person after a few years on my 31st birthday, which is 3 days before her 30th. We went out for a date and we haven't spent a night apart since. And in 3 days we say the ol' I do's. This is sickeningly adorable. I'm disgusted by how cute it is. You 8 inches deep does not like romance one bit. That's so sweet. You're gonna make me cry. She's the love of my life. Always has been since we were 15, but we had to do life on our own to learn those stupid lessons. But now we're happier than ever. Strong as heck. Getting hitched and trying for a baby. Fingers crossed for a girl. He's in San Diego, living his best gay life. He's gonna go out jacking it in San Diego. Jacking it, jacking it, jacking it, jack. Spanking it, spanking it, spanking it, spank. But is he single and 30? The rules are the rules. Ha 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 ha, true. I'ma message him now cuz we're 32 now and not getting any younger. I married her sister. I never wanted to marry her. She was my friend and she thought of the if we aren't married by 30 thing. Heartbreaker, she can never forget lol. Same here, except I was the younger sister who married the friend. Heard their pact and said I'll do you one better. Happy ending. My sister and I got married within a month of each other, to different men just to be clear. Good to know that you didn't marry your sister. He's unhappily married to someone else, spends all his time gardening now. So how's the garden? Lol, it's very nice, he even has an Instagram dedicated to it. When you said gardening, I imagined a corpse buried in the garden with plants growing on it. Interesting. When we were 2,931, we decided if we're all alone at 50, we can be roommates. We got married at 3,032 instead and got 2 kids now. They were roommates. This made me chuckle. Lol, I hope more people show it appreciation. We can be roommates, gotta not rush these things, you know? At 70 they can hold hands. He has like 56 kids. He actually hit me up when we were 30, we're 32 now, and asked about the deal. I was like, dude, don't you have like 5 kids? I was not gonna take on that circus. It's a marriage pact, not a free nanny pact. The similar, purse or a nurse, for the older guys. I have a friend who says this to me every once in a while. I'd have no problem with that, except she makes it sound like she'd be miserable if she had to end up with me, so no thanks. You keep dating horrible men and I'll watch from the sideline if I have time. Keep working on those farts in the meantime. Thanks. Just remember, building the farts is easy, maintaining the farts is what matters. Turns out we're both gay, so not happening. Get married, do your own things, save on taxes. Government dislikes this one trick, unless one of you are already married, then congrats. She's a single mom now, so I'm getting ready to strap my stepdad boots on here shortly. Hey man, sometimes stepdads are the most important dads. Stepdad here, I needed to hear that today. Stepdad, dad who stepped up. I do actually have a friend who did this. They reconnected after not seeing each other for a good while. They laughed and reminisced about their funny agreement to get married at 30 if they hadn't met someone else. They did get married pretty quick and were happy. For about a year. Then they spent a couple more years miserable together. Things got very bad and he ended up divorcing her. He's now happily married to someone who seems to be much better for him. I think this is one of the issues of aiming for marriage as an end goal rather than a relationship worthy of marriage. Agreed. I kinda did the same thing to myself. I married a man because I was nearing 30 and pregnant even though I knew he wasn't right for me. I stupidly felt like I was running out of time because it was kind of expected that people that age should be settled with a family. It was a disaster. My Bill's partner had that mindset. Her goal was marriage and she didn't care about anything else. That marriage lasted 6 months before he found out that she was cheating on him and had been since about a month after the wedding. Apparently she's single with a kid now and can't keep a job. I had a friend in middle high school that told me we should make a marriage pact. If we weren't married by 30 we'd get married. I lost contact with her after high school because she had a scary jealous boyfriend. She randomly added me on Facebook and asked for my phone number. I didn't think it was a big deal so I sent it. She sent me a very graphic photo of herself and said, "Hey, it's me, Chrissy." And I was like, hot darn. We talked for a bit that day, but that was our only real conversation. She had brought up our pact and we joked about it for a bit. A few months later she messaged me asking if she can use my shower because her water got shut off. I thought that was unusual so I just told her it wasn't a good time. That's happened to me before and I'd normally message a family member or close friend. A couple days later she posted a video of her and some dude, not her old boyfriend, smoking crack under a freeway overpass. She had a bandana on her face and they filmed themselves smoking head banging to music thinking they looked bad. I felt really bad for her at that point. Then I wondered if I had let her use my shower if she would have robbed me with her cholo looking boyfriend. Not too long after that her boyfriend started posting online that she was missing and he can't locate her. 2 weeks after that he changed his status to single on Facebook and I still haven't heard from my childhood friend. I hope she's okay out there. Really hope she can get her SH together and get clean. You were 100% about to get robbed. I have gotten that call before and called her out on it. And she hung up right away. It was me and my son at the time. I haven't seen her around 810 years so I definitely wouldn't put my son in any situation like that so it was a no. I suggested a gym. She was nice about it afterwards but yay I agree. I think I was about to be robbed. Makes me sad to see my friend turn out that way. This might just be the worst outcome I've read on this thread so far. Sorry to hear that this happened. Been married 16 years. Together for 20. Longest 4 days away from him after we made the pact to meet in Paris. Still haven't been to Paris, but I have the love of my life. This needs more subjects. Who, what, where now? Met in college. I had a long-term boyfriend, he was single. Became friends. I went to move in with long-term BF across the country. Told each other that if when I turned 30, he's older than me, if I was unmarried he would meet me under the Eiffel Tower at midnight on 112,016. I got to my destination and major regret. Unknown to me he was 2 days behind me following my dumb A. He called me the morning of day 4 away from him. Told me to meet him at Denny's. I packed up my SH and we have 2 kids and a dog now. He said he let me go so I could figure out my SH myself. He's amazing to this day. Edited. Typo. Denny's is almost as good as the Eiffel Tower. Great. Married with 2 kids. Living his best life. Our cutoff was 28 and I was married by 21. He was married by 22. Dang. Sounds like you both really didn't want to marry each other. Small town. Expectation was to be engaged by high school graduation. Not me, but I have a former coworker that made that pact with his senior high school prom date. Lost touch for 7 or so years. Reconnected at the 10-year high school reunion. Got married 2 years later. Now 2 kids with a third on the way and very happy. It was cool to watch the majority of that story go down. He's married to a gorgeous woman with 2 of the cutest babies I've ever seen. He's a white man and was racist AF in high school, something my hormonal A was willing to overlook. But now he owns a gym with his best friend who is black, and his wife is Asian. Dude turned around and achieved his dreams in the best way imaginable. Killer combo. Living his best life, and I'm in a long-term relationship myself, so we're both out here just killing it. The redemption arc. 100%. He's driving. We are pulling our camper. Our 9-year-old is in the backseat. We just finished a 4-night camping trip with his younger brother and his fiancée, also A if we're single. Couple. They have 2 girls, 2 and 4. We are all still excellent friends. My Bill and his fiancée dated right after high school. My husband and I didn't hook up until 2 days before we eloped. Married 11 years yesterday. Friends since '94. We didn't last long. Got married at 25. Still going strong. Made the deal at 23. Married at 25. Going on 13 years together. What? He's fabulously gay. I am a woman. Should be interesting. I have the same exact deal with my best friend. Let's see how this works out. Sitting next to me in bed. My wife will be livid when she finds out. My current BF told me that in high school when we were just friends that we're best friends and if I don't find a wife by 30, we're getting married. We decided just to date each other 6 months later. It's been 7 years now together. Over COVID I saw her profile pop up on my Switch, so I reached out to her and started catching up for the first time since I moved away for college. One thing led to another. I asked her if she'd like to move up the timeline on our promise, and we plan to get married next fall at the nice young age of 26. We're dating and happy as could be. We're almost 30 now though, so we're going to have to break up to honor our marriage pact. Love that logic. She married someone else. This sentence without the context is a tragic short story. Still never finished a bachelor's after 4+ failed attempts because he won't ask for math help. Still working at a hotel front desk at nearly 60 years old and with no possibility of more. Has no retirement to speak of. Went through bankruptcy, and remains in deep debt. Is a hoarder. We are not friends anymore. All of these conditions caused him to turn into a right $1 for no reason. 20-year friendship ended a couple years back. Misery has a way of doing that. We no longer talk. Stopped talking years ago. I met them back in 2020 when the pandemic started. We were super close, then even had a relationship together. But then we randomly stopped talking. No, it wasn't cause of our past relationship. We just fell off. I miss her every day. You met them only 3 years ago in 2020, but then also stopped talking years ago? You also had a relationship together but then randomly stopped talking? And this person who you were super close with, you have no way of contacting per your follow-up comment? Reading between the lines here, I'm sensing intense neckbeard vibes. It sounds like you were hyperfixating on some random girl on Discord and she eventually blocked you after a few months of creepy comments. Wrong pandemic. They meant the flu pandemic. All you crazy whippersnappers and your crazy new pandemics. Well, pandemics. Wasn't even a world war happening.